The e-bikes on the market today can feel a lot less like traditional bicycles and more like lightweight dirt bikes. Take a look at this shot of the Life E20. From a distance, that low frame looks like a casual neighborhood cruiser meant for a Sunday ride on a paved trail. Here you can see the swept-back handlebars designed to keep you sitting completely upright, alongside a low center bar for easy mounting and a standard utility rack on the back. But look at how those relaxed features stack up against the actual hardware specs. You're getting extreme pulling power, high top speeds, and massive off-road tires bolted onto a lazy Sunday chassis. This leaves buyers confused. It's hard to tell if you're supposed to take this machine through a rough snow trail or just down to the grocery store. Buying the wrong geometry for your daily routine means you either end up lacking the torque you need on hills, or you're stuck wrestling a massive, overweight machine through tight city streets. To keep you from making an expensive mistake, we need to translate these extreme numbers to see exactly whose garage this setup actually belongs in. This exploded graphic of the motor shows the real muscle of the E20, a 1,000-watt peak output pushing 80 newton-meters of torque. That torque rating translates to the raw mechanical leverage required to pull a heavy rider straight up a steep incline without the motor bogging down. It also gives the motor enough punch to aggressively accelerate you all the way up to its 28-mile-per-hour top speed. But tapping into that kind of raw pulling power comes with a severe cost to your battery life. This breakdown of the 48-volt, 13-amp-hour battery cell claims you can squeeze 60 to 80 miles of travel range out of a single charge. To actually hit that 80-mile mark in the real world, you would have to keep the motor on the lowest possible pedal assist setting and do a heavy share of the physical work yourself. You'd also need perfectly flat paved terrain, which completely ignores the mountain climbing capabilities of that high-torque motor. If you decide to rely on the throttle to cruise at 28 miles per hour, that 80-mile range claim will drop dramatically. You cannot have peak speed and peak range on the same ride. Every time you leave the driveway, you have to decide whether you want to go fast or go far. Now, look at this diagram of the 20 by 3-inch fat tires, heavily marketed to handle city roads, sand, and snow. In practice, that massive volume of air and the thick puncture-resistant layering acts as a secondary suspension system, absorbing the shock of large urban potholes. When you pair that soft ride with the low step-through frame, you get a forgiving setup, especially if you have bad knees or limited mobility. But those 3-inch wide contact patches create immense friction and rolling resistance whenever you're on smooth pavement. Add in the heavy steel of the suspension forks, the thick frame, and the massive battery, and you end up with an exceptionally heavy machine. If you miscalculate your range and the battery dies, fighting that rolling resistance and dead weight makes manually pedaling this bike an exhausting ordeal. The chassis completely discards the nimble, lightweight efficiency of a traditional bicycle in exchange for brute force comfort and ease of access. This warranty table outlines a standard 12-month coverage period for the frame, the battery, and the motor. It offers practical protections, like guaranteeing a replacement if the battery capacity drops below 60% in that first year. But check the fine print in the not covered column right here, specifically the explicit exclusion for water ingression. The marketing material actively encourages you to ride through snow and loose soil, yet getting water inside the battery immediately voids your coverage. The hardware might physically survive a muddy trail, but the terms of the warranty mean that pushing the bike into harsh weather shifts all the financial risk straight back onto you. Ultimately, the E20 shouldn't be thought of as a bicycle. It is a high-utility, motorized brute. So let's run your daily routine through a decision matrix, starting with your primary terrain. If your commute is mostly flat and paved, or if you live in an upper-floor apartment without an elevator, this is a pass. The fat tires are highly inefficient on smooth asphalt, and the sheer bulk of the frame makes it completely impractical to carry up a flight of stairs. But if your neighborhood is full of steep hills, or if stepping over a traditional crossbar is painful or difficult, this bike is a perfect fit. You get the relaxed, pain-free posture of a cruiser, backed up by the raw torque needed to pull you up an incline without breaking a sweat. The Life E20 is a highly effective tool, as long as you buy it knowing you're getting a machine meant to do the heavy lifting for you, rather than a lightweight pedaling companion.